Hello everyone, it is great to see you here once again on Dee's Delights. Today we are making homemade apple butter. I have never made this before, but I'm looking forward to it. My husband Doug, he loves apple butter. But the only thing is, once we cook this, it's going to cook for a long time. It's going to cook in a slow cooker. I said that a lot. Cook in a slow cooker for about 10 hours. Then if it's not to the consistency that you like, then you can puree it in a blender, food processor, and get it down to that smooth texture. That's what he wants. He will not eat chunky apple butter. As a matter of fact, he's downstairs right now, told me that. He is recuperating from an outpatient surgery, and he has been watching episodes of Hee Haws dating clear back to 1969. You youngsters out there don't really remember the show Hee Haw, but as growing up in the 60s, I remember it quite vividly. I'm a pickin' and I'm a grinnin' and hee 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 ha ha. You can remember all those little things, Roy and Buck and all the main characters. But that show ran for, I think, 23 years, something like that, 26, somewhere in there. But anyway, he's been watching that. It's about ready to drive me nuts. So he should be better real soon, and that way I don't have to hear the theme song to Hee Haw one more time. That'll be great. So let's get started. We're going to need 6.5 pounds of apples. I got Golden Delicious and Fuji. I saw where some recipes recommended different types of apples, and it said also it's nice to make a blend of apples. So that's what I'm going to try today. It's going to require 1/2 cup granulated sugar. There again, you can adjust the sugar to your liking. If you like it a little less sweet or more sweet, just adjust it to that. She uses a 1/2 cup granulated sugar. 1/2 cup packed brown sugar, 1.5 tablespoons of ground cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon salt, 1 tablespoon vanilla extract. That's what we're going to need. We're going to need a slow cooker, and that is about it. So it's going to be really simple once I peel 13 potatoes. Ugh. Once I peel 13 apples. That's about how many it took to be equivalent to 6.5 pounds. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. No, I got 14 apples. So 7 of each. And now I am going to peel off every little sticker that is on every single apple. I'm going to wash it. Then I'm going to use my handy dandy peeler to peel them. And one of you out there, I can't remember who, recommended when I think I was making apple pies. I can't remember which recipe I was using apples for here recently. I don't think it was the pies. Help me out, someone out there. But anyway, you had suggested that I use my leftover apple peels, and I think you told me to bake them. So that's what we're going to do today. I can't remember. If you know who you are out there and you want to remind me what I can do with these apple peels, I would love to hear from you. So I'm going to peel this, and I'll be back in just a moment once these are all ready to go. So I have the apples washed and the stickers peeled off. So let's just start. I'm just going to do 5 for the baked apple skins. Let's just see here. So I'll get this started. And then what I'm going to do is these come out long like this. I'm going to cut them into little sections so they're not so long. So I'm going to do that 5 with 5 apples. Did I say to make sure you wash your apples? I probably just said that. My memory is getting worse. This thing is so convenient. It saves so much time in the peeling process if you're making pies or just like today. You know, it's a pain in the hind end to have to peel apples, potatoes, anything like that. I don't think this would not be a potato peeler, but anything that saves time is good. Get a little bit at the end if it does it. Come on. Right there. Yep, perfect. Let's go back. So we have our 5 apples peeled. The of course, so those are already peeled for the apple butter. And I am going to cut these into smaller pieces. It's pretty cool. I hope all of you out there, if you're in Pennsylvania, are enjoying the warmer weather. Today it's dreary, but the weather is changing. Spring has sprung and I am happy. Preheat the oven to 225 degrees. Lay the apple skins out evenly on a greased cookie sheet. So let's do that. I'm going to grease mine with butter, oil, cooking spray, whatever you guys want to use. I always think butter adds a nice touch. So let's put the apples on there. There again, it calls for 4 to 6 apples, so I just did 5. Right in the middle, like I've always been, average. I've always been average, and I'm okay with average. Average is fine. Below average is fine. Everybody's fine. Isn't that sweet? So easy for me to get off subject. Okay, let's see. So we want them to be stretched out. Whoops, don't want to forget this little fella. It says, in a small bowl, mix the remaining ingredients and sprinkle over the apples. All right. This is a small bowl with a lime green bottom, which means the lime green lid goes with it. Once again, I've told you many a time how I love my Amazon mixing bowls with the matching lids. I love them. Got rid of my old white balls. Dear Lord, I'm tired. Got rid of my old white bowls. I need to go to bed earlier at night. I'm getting delirious. And I moved up in the world. So slowly but surely I am moving up in my kitchen. Doug built me a pantry back here, and I will show you that on a future episode whenever it is totally done. That way I can get all this crap out of my kitchen and I can store it properly in another area of the house. So let's see, 1 tablespoon of sugar, brown sugar or coconut sugar. So I have brown sugar. And do I think 1 tablespoon is enough? I don't know. Let's see. You know what? I'm going to double this. Sorry. Let's do 2 tablespoons. I just don't see how 1 tablespoon is going to be sufficient. But then again, I have a sweet tooth, which is not always good. 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. I am going to double that, so it shall be 2 teaspoons. And then I can sprinkle as much on or as little on as I want. But I know it won't be any less than what she has told me to do. 1/4 teaspoon nutmeg. I do not use nutmeg. I'm not a fan of nutmeg. Don't know why. And then a pinch of salt. All right, a pinch of salt. So we're going to use 2 pinches of salt, which is about 1/4 teaspoon. If I can find me 1/4 teaspoon. Okay, I'm just going to put a little bit in here. Just a little baby bit. A little pinch of salt. Let's stir that around. And then we're just going to sprinkle this over the apples. Alrighty. So I'm going to sprinkle this. I'm going to go like this. She doesn't have this, but I'm going to mix it around. Come on, let's get it on the apples. That's where we want it. We don't want it on the pan. We want it over our apples. I'm going to put a little bit more. I didn't use it all. If I mix it around like this, that'll be good. Just put as much on as you want. Okay, now I'm going to spread them back. Might break some of these up a little bit. Try to have them out in a single layer. And just break up the bigger pieces. So off they go into the oven at 225 degrees for 1.5 to 2 hours until they're dried and crispy. Then you can store them in an airtight container for several days. Oh, that was still a long one. I've peeled all the apples. Now we're going to slice them, put them in the slow cooker. Slice them thin. You don't want them to be too thick. I need to get to one of those little metal things that, you know, you can get the core right out of the apple. You would think I would have it because it's such a basic thing, and I have had them in the past, but I don't know where it's at. Nice little peels. I don't think the apple butter will miss that. I'm finally down to my last apple, and I have looked online. I am going to buy 1 apple core today on Amazon for $9.99. Which should I choose? The Happy Green, the Elegant Red, or the Radiant Yellow? I think I'm going to go with the Happy Green. That's it. Right now you're going to witness me buying 1 Happy Green apple core with a touch of a button. Let's make sure. And it should be coming Friday, so I'm really looking forward to that. And it's called the Premium Apple Core. I will be the happy owner of a new apple core. Not a slicer, just the core. I can slice. And I'm putting the last of my slices in there. I sliced them pretty thin. Whoops, that one went on the floor. That one, I promise I won't put that in the slow cooker. Now there was a gentleman that I saw that what he did was he cored his apples and then he kind of sliced them and diced them, but he didn't peel them. He claimed that made it more flavorful. So, you know, if you want to slice and dice, put it in little cubes and don't peel it. Totally up to you. I'm going to try it though the way she does it, and then I'll see if the amount of sugar she has in here is enough. That made 1 full crock pot. You know what? And I don't even know what size this is. But anyway, made 1 full crock pot. So next, let's add the sugar, cinnamon, salt, and vanilla to the crock pot and mix well. So we need our 1/2 cup granulated sugar. It almost makes me feel like I'm making pie. 1/2 cup packed brown sugar. Get that out of there. It's packed in there pretty tight. I wanted as much brown sugar as possible. 1½ tablespoons of ground cinnamon. I don't want to put it in my container. Oh, geez, I tell you. I need to go back to bed, folks. Okay, just about threw that out. Tonya. I know I go by D here on D's Delights, my middle name, but most people know me as Tonya. Okay, so let me see. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. We're going to mix it well, and then we're going to slow cook it for about 10 hours, and we're going to stir it every few hours. Okay, I'm going to turn it on low, cover it. I'll see you back in a few hours. Well, actually, it is about 20 of 11. I'm going to see you back here about 9 o'clock at night. My peels have been in for about 1 hour and 50 minutes, but I've got to go, so I'm going to take them out a few minutes early. I would recommend at least 2 hours. Just if you want to get those peels a little extra crispy. I already mixed them up once. Really, it doesn't make a lot of peels. I guess there's not much peels to 5 apples, but probably with the sugar, they're not that healthy. So let's try one that looks a little crispy. Not bad. The bigger ones, probably you want to let them in just a little bit longer. Still good. She says here you can store leftovers in an airtight container for several days. Nice little snack. I'd recommend. Of course, you have to like apples and sugar, which I like both. So I'll be back when the apple butter is about done, which is still about another 8.5 hours. Gonna go run some errands. Next, I'm gonna scoop out a little bit of the apple butter, about a cup at a time, and I'm gonna puree it. Then I'm gonna put it back in the slow cooker for about another hour uncovered. Okay, let's look. Oh yeah, that made a difference. Smooth as can be. Holy heck, that really pureed. You might be saying to yourself, is this really worth all the aggravation? Well, I certainly hope so. So I've cooked this for 9 hours, and for the last hour after I puree, I am going to cook it uncovered. Okay, I scooped a little bit out because it'll thicken as it's scooped out and cools. So the test is to see if this will stay on the spoon for a couple of minutes. And it does. It should be thick enough. There again, you can cook it a little longer. I just have the lid tilted so the steam can be released. But I'm going to try it just the way it is. This is after 10 hours. Pureed at hour number 9. And took it out and started to cool it at hour number 10. So to me, that looks like apple butter. It's still warm. That's some good apple butter, folks. I would recommend this recipe. Very good, very good. So I hope you enjoy your apple butter, and thanks for joining me here once again on Dee's Delights. Have a wonderful week, everyone.